We give you a reason to come. The world's greatest radio. We give you a reason to stay.
Radio, the way it should be heard.
You got the power.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and not necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
TalkTainmentRadio.com, the world's greatest radio. You're in touch with This is Libby. I'm Libby, and this is radio the way it should be heard. Now, you know that I had to get me some help when I talked with you last about my loved and beloved veterans, male and female. Well, I wasn't done, and neither were they. So we want to give you some really good information on how to get help and navigate through the system of the Veterans Administration. We even got the definition of a vet, and I'm going to let Anthony tell us what a vet is. And I want you to know you can call me 1-877-932-9766 and talk to you some Libby. I also want you to know that you can go to YouTube and type Talktainment, hit the space bar, radio, and then you can see us and also be a part of this conversation. Make sure that you go to Facebook, and you can do that with facebook.com/Talktainment. Like us if you like us, and talk to me and give me your insights. Make sure I understand what it is you're feeling and talking about. The guests, and I'm not even going to call them guests anymore, they are friends of This is Libby, and that's Reverend Robert Rand. He's a vet, Anthony Moy, and he is with the Veterans Administration. It's the disabled, say that for me.
Disabled American Veterans.
All right, then. See, I'm going to get it right here in a second. Mr. Galen Wilson is a vet, got lots of good information. Remember what I told you about elders? They are walking libraries. Well, Mr. Galen Wilson is a walking library, and we just went through that door. And then Sisters Unite, for all the veterans that are female, we have Sister Phyllis Waddleton. She's going to join us and let us hear her insights as well. You with me? So that being said, I want to get started. Anthony says that there's help for Mr. Galen Wilson, because in our last conversation, Mr. Wilson said, I ain't getting what I'm supposed to get. I ain't got, no, I didn't. So would you help me with this one? Give Mr. Galen his information, everyone their information. We're waiting. This is going to be a fact finder today.
Okay, yes. In our last conversation, we were discussing how to get your bills paid if you're receiving a bill from the VA from medical treatment. If they transport you outside the facility to a location into the community and you received a bill, always call patient billing. That number is 888-812-0318. Once again, that is 888-812-0318.
All right, before we go a little further, I do want to hear the insights of our Sister Phyllis Waddleton. So what do you have to say to us right now? Where do we begin with the females, or is that a whole nother show?
With the females, as me being a veteran, we have come a long way from when I came in. Mm-hmm. I came in 1981. Mm-hmm. Females were considered admin. They wasn't allowed into combat situations. Today, females are in combat situations. They're now, we have females going to Ranger School. I have been in combat situations. Okay. From the time when I first came in 81. I was deployed many times to first the Gulf War, then Iraq, Afghanistan, all in female situations, combat situations. As far as being treated at the VA, once I came home, my treatment at the VA started out kind of hairy, but ended up on a positive note. They now have a special floor just for females. So we now are getting the treatment we deserve.
I'm kind of angry right now, y'all. You know. Okay, so we go over there with our guns, and like they got their guns, we got our guns, but we get treated. Did you get paid the same way?
Yes, we got paid.
Did you get paid fairly? I'm being honest. Okay, that's an answer. I got you. That's an answer. Anthony, you were going to say something?
Well, she mentioned about the facility here in Columbus and having a treatment floor for a veteran, for the women. That's the women's clinic, and their number, if you're needing to be in contact or connect with the women's clinic, that number is 614-388-7108. That's 614-388-7108, and they provide pretty much all services. It's a one-shop for all treatment clinic. About the only thing they will not do is maybe, well, there's no maybe, they don't do abortions and they don't do cosmetic enhancement.
My mouth is open. Okay, we go over there with these gorgeous faces, and we get half of it blown off, and you don't give us cosmetic. Am I being extreme here?
Let me re-clarify that.
Okay, please.
For self purposes, like maybe some breast enhancement, maybe you have some issues with that or to that nature, they will not do. But for a cosmetic replacement, if you had some type of facial injury or just injury within itself, you have the works between the women's clinic and prosthetics to kind of accommodate the health of the veteran. So it is as medically necessary facility.
Okay, so go ahead, hon.
And the treatments, like for mammograms,
Right.
because they don't have the mammogram equipment at the Columbus VA, we are referred out to and go to a hospital to get a mammogram done, and the VA will take care of that.
My question is always why? Why don't you have facilities for the vets here in Columbus, Ohio? Why do they have to be forwarded to another source? Why? And that's going to be a big question for me today, so you all be patient with me because I do not understand why you have to go somewhere else. I'm hearing clinic. Does that mean you don't have a hospital here in Columbus, Ohio?
No, there's not a VA hospital.
I got to open my shirt.
It's a ambulatory care facility.
Ambulatory.
Yes, meaning there is no inpatient.
I have a problem with that because you guys paid big dues to go over there and put your life on the line and witness what you witnessed and bring it back in your spirit, have to wrestle with it from the time you get home until the time you go to sleep and go home. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to settle down. Okay, Mr. Galen,
Yes, ma'am.
my walking library, you have a story. You and Reverend Bob have a story. So what's your story? Because we heard a little bit about your story last time we were here. Since we talked, have you gotten some help?
Well, they've sent me, they called me and told me that they were going to pay my bill. They told me it was going to take 3 weeks. And if I haven't heard from them in 3 weeks, contact them again. I said, I don't mind, do what I got to do. But if you listen to some of the things that happened, you'll see I'm not close to being even. What I feel is evenly shared back to what I'm missing. Because there's a lot of things that happened to me. Well, I've got a scar from here down to my waistline, and where they took out 2/3 of my stomach. They taken out part of my intestines, and they really well. I've had so many.
Have you had procedures?
There are procedures that.
Didn't you tell us that you had 3 strokes?
Yes, I've had 3 strokes, and I've had a back surgery, and right now they're trying to put it this way. When I was over in Vietnam, I had pus bubbles run from one ankle up to my crotch, down to my other ankle, and they trying to tell me that it's no good. I don't know how you can't say that it's no good, because I mean they know that they did this, and they know that what happened to me, it's right for them to compensate me, if nothing else. I look at it this way, where they left me, it's kind of sad the way they. Matter of fact, one of my friends was talking about. He was talking about other nations give their soldiers more help than the United States does in giving us help. And Cricket, he told me that all this, and I said, well, yeah. I said, no, the United States, they do good. He said, really, they don't. I said, well, I don't know about all this, but hey, I look at it this way. That's something that they should check up on also, because I mean, like, the United States is supposed to be the world's greatest, and they have not treated their soldiers like they should be treated.
Okay, so Reverend Rand, you've been very patient. What are your thoughts right now?
Well, first, I'm blessed. I have not suffered physically. Mental is another process altogether. You leave Middle Ohio.
Yes.
The most combat you know may be high school football. But the mental structure, the mental complications, in a matter of months, you are trained to be a killing machine, and you can't separate the difference between, are you crazy? If you are that killing machine, that's what they want you to be, but you can't separate when do you kill and who do you kill. If you kill your enemies, then that could be someone on another ship. That could be...
Whose ship?
Well, we've had battles between... I was on a destroyer, and we've had battles such as a man was killed in Hong Kong who was on board an aircraft carrier.
Okay.
And this was a fight between the destroyer and the aircraft carrier.
Who's destroyer and who's aircraft carrier?
Well, the United States. That's the point I'm making. We were killing each other.
Oh, come on.
And when we couldn't kill each other, I mean, when we didn't have VC to kill, we killed each other. When we didn't kill each other, then we killed whoever was available. As Galen, I'm sure, can confirm, things like rape, molestation, just as here white folks call us the N-word, we called Vietnamese, we call any foreign individual in Asia in a derogatory manner.
Okay. Let me stop you right here. Sister Phyllis?
Yes.
Based on what Reverend Bob just said, what did you see for the women? What were you all going through? What were you suffering with? Because he mentioned rape, molestation, and all of those. Can you speak on that?
Well, when I was got deployed to Bosnia, We were, at that time, one of the first rotations over in Bosnia. That's when it was just, there was really nothing. There was a lot of rape that went on over there.
Okay, now I gotta ask. Was it the enemy raping our women? Or was it our men raping our women? Or was it both?
It was a little bit of both.
Okay. Okay, deep breath, Libby. Deep breath. What, Anthony? What is it? Help a sister out, Anthony.
And I understand, you know, the mental capacity of experiencing war, being assaulted, male, female, both being sexually assaulted. And the VA has now really put forth the steps to try to help individuals that were in this situation move forward in life. There are options out there available through the healthcare system to provide counseling, treatment. At the facility, there are wartime veterans. You have, well, really, few people know of the Vet Center. So for PTSD, I'm believing Vietnam call it shell shock. PTSD, MST, which is military sexual trauma, any kind of behavior issues that the service member sustained, you know, they can seek treatment through the facility.
Okay. It appears that, yes, just a second. It appears that you are the healer. You're the healer here tonight, right? So it appears. I'm just letting you know that for every issue that we've discussed so far, there appears to be a source or a resource for help.
Yes, there is.
My concern is I'm hearing too many vets saying, I'm not getting that help. We want to bridge that gap tonight, forever, from this point. So I'm going to need you to, okay.
Understood.
Okay. Now I got to do this right now because it's very important. Just like This Is Libby is here for you, there are other programs that are available to you through TalkTainmentRadio.com. You see, TalkTainmentRadio.com is a 24/7, no charge, worldwide facility, you see? And its broadcasting facility has hosts that deliver various topics, such as health and wellness, news, lifestyle. There's also sports, religion, and politics, and here are a few of those, all right? So we have Real Men with Pastor Banks. We also have Your Time to Travel. We have At the Table, Senior Agenda, Everlasting Life, The John Coates Show, Blue Mood Saturday. And after this conversation, Blue Mood Saturday is going to be very, very good for this sister right here. Remember that you can go to TalkTainmentRadio.com, then click on Programs, if you choose, for scheduled times for all the programs that I spoke about. TalkTainmentRadio.com is radio the way it should be heard. Now, this is Libby, and you're listening to This Is Libby. And so what I want you to do is remember that right this minute, Reverend Bob Rand is here, Anthony Moy is here, Mr. Galen Wilson is here, and on audio is our sister Phyllis Waddleton is here. And we're going to dispel the myths about the Veterans Administration and that help. We're also going to answer and tell us about the process. I want to know the process for getting benefits, because that's the complaint I'm hearing all along, okay?
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to do a few stories as well. So considering that, Mr. Galen, would you tell me, how long were you in the service?
I was there about 4 years and 8 months. I was in the service.
4 years and 8 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Reverend Bob, how long were you in service?
Well, 6 years total, 2 years in Vietnam.
Okay, and Sister Phyllis, how about you?
30 years.
You did 30 years?
30 years. From 1981 till 2011.
Now, I know there are some who make the military their career. I have relatives who were what we called lifers. And I remember as a child, because I was a child when the one uncle in particular was in service, I remember him speaking about the benefits. And I can't tell you what they were like for him then. However, I need to know what the benefits are now. So, you know, the last time we had a conversation about this, there's this one article called 10 Things You Receive from Vets, the Benefits. Anthony, would you please talk to me about some of those? Because the one for the death benefit took me out. I mean, it took me out. $250 or was it $1,500, Reverend Bob?
I had 250.
We had.
I think Anthony said that's not true.
Yeah,
That's not true?
Not now.
Throw the article out. Throw the article out. Throw it out. Okay.
The death benefits have increased. Like I say, I believe prior to 2001, their benefits was $1,500.
Okay.
Post 2011, 2001. I'm sorry. Post 2011, the benefits increased to $2,000. If I'm not making a mistake.
Okay. Sister Phyllis, what have you observed that have there been improvements over this 30-year career of yours?
As far as the benefits?
Anything, or for you, anything. I want to know what women are facing after they come back or they decide they're no longer going to be a part of the military service. Because I believe it was Reverend Bob on our last conversation, and he says when you come back, you are no longer a vet. You are a liability. You're gonna. I want him to talk about that just a little. But have you seen improvements since you've been out of the service? How can we help these women?
Well, for me,
yes.
When I got out, because I was injured while I was in the military.
Okay.
So when I got out, the first thing I did do was go to the Columbus VA.
All right.
And register. And I heard stories about, you know, taking so long to be seen.
Yes.
I didn't have to wait that long. I think they scheduled. I got out. It came home in April the 1st. I went to the VA, and within a week and a half, I seen a doctor where they evaluated me and put me in the system.
Okay.
And from then on, I've been able to see a doctor whenever. When I go there, my wait isn't that long. Well, now that they have the women's clinic, you know, they have there's the doctors up there. There's no long wait.
Okay,
as
so
far,
there has been improvement.
There has, but from what I've seen, there has been improvement. Now, in the beginning, there was a little bit of a glitch with mammograms because they used to have the vehicle come to the VA.
Right.
And you did your mammograms, but then they said, for some reason, they stopped and we were sent out. And I got a bill for a mammogram. But after I told them about it, I went down there and went to the cashier's window and talked to a counselor, and they took care of the bill. And that didn't take long as far as for me. So it is improving. And plus now that they have, what do you call it, like a town hall?
Town hall meeting.
Yes, they have town halls. I just did one about 2 weeks ago with the VA.
And in the town hall meeting, what happens?
Well, we get to ask.
I mean, you go ahead because I don't know. I'm asking because I really don't know. What happens in the town hall meetings?
Well, the town hall, they talk about whatever new programs is coming up.
Okay.
A lot of the vets call in. We get to ask questions. about what's going on with the VA?
Yeah, me personally, I like the town hall meetings because there is a lot of information that is passed through the town hall meetings. You get to ask the questions, you learn what changes are being implemented, as also you being able to voice, some of your experience, and if there may be, you need a one-on-one session with, even as to the, to the director of the facility, she will step in. Some of the new changes, what makes the system here in Columbus move a little bit quicker, because there is a large number of vets that have enrolled in the healthcare system here. Columbus healthcare system is growing faster than any the Cleveland, Cincinnati, Dayton facilities. They're growing faster than the big hospitals. So you now have the women's clinic, as we mentioned earlier, and OEF, OIF treatment team, which that's the Iraq, Afghanistan combat soldiers. So between those two, the being able to be seen in a timely fashion has improved the facility. Also, there have been implemented the choice program. So the choice program, if you're not able to be seen at the facility within 30 days of your scheduled appointment, then the choice program will provide services out into the community. And if you are with more, if I'm not mistaken, 45 miles or greater outside of that facility, the choice program is there to assist you so that way you can see someone, a specialty clinic or primary care in your community.
Okay, so what I want to do now is, because I caught this when we had our first conversation, I asked Mr. Galen if he got lost or in the cracks. Okay, so I need to know why Sister Phyllis was able to get such quick help, but Mr. Galen is still struggling. What happens when people fall through the cracks? Is it ignorance of the information? What is it? Lack of information? Lack of facilities? Lack of physicians? What?
Yeah, we can look at as when you're out processing from the military.
Mm-hmm.
Those NDOC classes, some are real, good about passing along the information, going through that information with the transitioning service member, but then there are some of those agencies or facilities that, here's what you need to do, move on. That was prior to, but now they are tasked with, ensuring that these service members get that information and understand that information. And some still may just touch, some of that information, but they do go through it a little more skillfully than what they was doing in the past.
Okay.
And then when you, like he was saying, when you out process, your medical records, you give those up.
To who?
To the
like who? What?
So the thing about that is, and I tell every veteran, make sure you copy your service record and your medical record and take it with you. Because keep it home, put it in a safe place, because you may leave and you.
Oh, this is so good, but you gotta just give me a minute here, because I gotta tell you that TalkTainmenTRadio.com now, we go where you go. So check us out on 94.1 WGRN, and the podcasts are available. So you download TalkTainmentRadio.com app to your cell or your tablet. Now that's radio, the way it should be heard. Now you stay right there. This is some good stuff. You don't want to miss this, because after this, I want to talk to you about bills and things. Do this on TalkTainmentRadio.com.
Events by Tiffany presents the second annual Ladies Shopping Expo, Saturday, April the 14th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Embassy Suites by Hilton, 2866 Airport Drive in Columbus, Ohio. There'll be free gift bags to the first 50 shoppers and a chance to win $50. $2 admission at the door. For more information, contact Tiffany at 219-455-9725 or check us out on Facebook, Events by Tiffany.
I've got the water, energy bars, and camera. I think we're set for the hike.
Almost. We need to protect our skin. Don't forget your wide-brimmed hat and sunscreen.
All right. I've got the hat. I've got SPF 30. Will that work?
Yeah, anything 15 or higher is good. Just make sure it says broad spectrum.
Great. Got it. I am not getting burned again. Let's go.
Learn more at cdc.gov/cancer.
This is Al Edmondson, owner of a Cutter Brother Rest Barbershop. I'm calling on all barbers and beauticians. It's time for us to unite as one. We can serve our communities better together. Join the Ohio Black Barber Beauty Network. For more information, visit www.obbn.org or call 614-427-3226 to get more information. Be the change that you want to see in your community. Join our network.
Robe is an intriguing, riveting, mysterious novel written on forgiveness by Renee Smith. Order your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. That's The Robe by Renee Smith.
For the best home fragrance and beauty products, shop Ash Kickin' online.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Made with 100% natural quality ingredients and handcrafted with your family in mind, Ash Kickin' products are better than those other guys. Ash Kickin' candles, incense, body butter, face moisturizer, and hair moisturizer are priced just right, and you can get yours at 10% off with coupon code TALK17. Support this 100% black-owned business and get your home and body smelling and feeling all right.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Shop Ash Kickin' online at www.ashkickin.com.
Are you ready for a high school that allows you to work at a place that is right for you? Are you ready to earn a certification in healthcare, business, or manufacturing while achieving your high school diploma? Then you are ready for Life Skills High School, a free public school option for high school students 16 to 21 years old. Learn more about your free high school educational options at lifeskillshs.org or call them at 1-800-888-7992. Life Skills High School, education that fits your life.
If you or someone you know is abusing drugs and or alcohol and want to stop the abuse, contact APDS at 1409 East Livingston Avenue. Office hours are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. APDS is certified by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services and primarily funded through the Adam H. Board. Fees are based on your income and Medicaid is always accepted. For more information, call 614-253-4448.
Every year, June marks the beginning of two busy seasons, summer and wedding season. If you are legally changing your name, you need to apply for a replacement Social Security card reflecting your new name. This is easier to fix now when you first change your name than years from now when you retire. So go to our website at www.socialsecurity.gov/SS number or call us at 1-800-772-1213, TTY 1-800-325-0778 to find out what specific documents you need to change your name and apply for a replacement card.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. Download Talktainment Radio app to your cell or tablet. All right? Radio, the way it should be heard. This is Libby, and you're listening to This is Libby. You can call 1-877-932-9766 and talk to you some Libby, because now we're going to talk about a world of difference. Each one of our guests here had their own experience as veterans, and what I want you to do is hear their stories and conversation based on being a world of difference. There were words like, They're just waiting for you to die. You are now a liability. Can you talk to your congressman, and what happens? What about Agent Orange? And what about the soldiers, men and women who came back as drug addicts? Where's the mental help for them? So I'm just going to open this thing up and let them talk. A world of difference. We'll start with Reverend Bob Rand. Go ahead and express yourself again. Tell us what, share with us.
It is a world of difference. For myself personally, when I came home and went to VA and then went up to OSU Bureau of Rehabilitation when I got injured at General Motors. And we went through this whole psychiatry thing, this whole idea, tell me your feelings and all that. Look, why am I going to tell you that I killed 5 babies?
All right.
How can you feel what I felt? How can you, do you have any idea what it means to kill people indiscriminately? People who have never done anything to you. And you come back to this country as a black man and told and killed, told that you have no more rights. See, all this wraps up into one thing. So, yes, many vets who came home, both black and white, said, I don't want to be involved with it.
Don't want to be involved
I don't want to be involved with VA. All they're going to do is find ways to, and what do? They give me drugs, more drugs. Drugs to do this, drugs to do that. Oh, VA is very good about giving you drugs. Ask Galen. They'll drug you up. Anything to stop the pain, but anything that talks about healing him or giving him reasonable. Now, again, let's start at 19. We're talking about going all the way back to 69, 70.
Yes.
But let's jump start up to 80 or 90. Yes, the VA began to change. Why? Because in the Gulf War, men were coming home and killing their wives. We know this is true because Fort Bragg had what was classified as an epidemic. So we know it. There's no hiding that. It was in the news to everybody. So the VA then had to kick in, or the military had to kick in and start dealing with people, asking the question, why is it happening? Well, because in the Gulf War, they were doing it there. We recorded. There was the case where this group of men and women were taking prisoners and literally physically attacking them, doing all kinds of things. Every insane thing you could talk about. Not only waterboarding, I'm talking about sticking poles inside the rectum of men.
Okay.
Okay, so all this is recorded in the news media. I'm not making up anything. But what I'm saying to you, where I'm a Vietnam vet, these services did not exist, and they didn't exist until they became an embarrassment to the United States military. We know for a fact, VA hospital in Washington, D.C., correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it ordered to close, certain areas was ordered to close because of the plumbing within the hospital itself? I mean, if he's in the hospital and you can't get to the shower because the plumbing has just got human feces all over the floor, why would I want to go to something like that? Why would I even get involved in it?
Okay, so because of their condition, when they came home, they didn't even want to have anything to do with the VA. So is that why?
No, the VA didn't offer. Number one, the VA didn't offer anything, and number two, what they did offer was no help at all.
Okay, now, Mr. Galen, I want your insights now because you've had an opportunity to think about what Bob says, because this is a world of difference. Sister Phyllis got her needs met. We don't know how many women fell through the cracks regarding getting their needs met. That's why the phone numbers are coming out. That's why I'm asking you to write them down, Google whatever you need to do so that you can get your needs met. But Mr. Galen, you spoke about Agent Orange, and Reverend Bob spoke about Agent Orange. So I need to talk a little bit about some Agent Orange.
It was denied. I'm just one simple answer. Yeah. Denied. They denied that even existed.
Okay, so Mr. Galen,
yes.
Go ahead.
Well, one thing that before I get on that, let me tell you like this: when when I first applied for it, the first thing they asked me is, prove you was in Vietnam. I said, what?
Prove
I was in Vietnam. They sent me a letter. I said, what? This is the stupidest thing in the world. How they know to send me a letter to say to prove I was in Vietnam if I wasn't there? And I look this way. That was wrong, people. They did stuff like that. And I was over I was at the VA, and Joyce came in, and she was getting ready to speak to him, and I said, "Can I talk to you?" She said, "Wait a minute, I'll be back. Yeah, she came right back. She went out the back door. That's how bad they want to talk to us. And
go ahead, Mr. Galen. Go ahead, finish up.
I look at it this way. There were when it comes down to drugs, I chose not to take them. I had to be in a lot of pain sometimes to not get hooked up on this stuff, because I chose not to do it. And when I was in Vietnam, the very first thing that happened to me is I started bleeding out my retina.
Oh.
And I bled. I put it this way: I bled so bad when I go to poop, the water turned red.
Oh, see.
And my sisters and them went down there with me, and they said, "Y'all killing him." And it was a doctor from well, he's down in North Carolina now, but he's the only one who got me straight, because they operated on me and I bled so much that I look at this way. And the way I was bleeding, I put it this way: I bled so much I had to wear feminine pads, and that's no joke.
No, it's not a joke. Not at all. Not at all.
And it's kind of sad that they did soldiers like that, and they threw us out the pasture. I mean, they threw us away. I put it away.
So what Reverend Bob was saying is that they're literally waiting for you to die.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And there are others, male and female, who are in situations similar to yours.
Yes.
And they're waiting for them to die. And what was it you said, Reverend Bob, about liability? I want to make sure.
You're a liability. He's not an asset in any way. He can't, no disrespect, but he can't do anything. What can he do? And he's a cost to them. So they have to pay out money, any amount of money. I don't know what they pay for you per year right now, but
a joke.
Even what you said,
Anthony.
When I was in Vietnam, it was $250. Now you say it's $2,000, right? It was $250. Now you say it's $2,000. I asked you, Anthony, not talking to you personally, had nothing to do with you. Who can you bury with $2,000?
That's a tough one.
Okay.
But that's the point I'm making. That is the very point.
Okay, so Sister Phyllis, you have an insight about this? You know, we're talking about money here. We're talking about the effects of Agent Orange, injuries. You said you were injured and you were well taken care of. I'm so happy. What about what are your insights? What are you feeling about this? I've got questions and questions and questions.
Well, I know that because I grew up in the Vietnam era, where you've seen the war on television daily. And when the vets came back, they were treated horrible. Oh. They were treated badly. I mean, horrible. But I know they had, over the years, they did declare Agent Orange as a injury.
It's a presumptive illness now.
What's it called?
It's called a presumptive illness.
Illness, right. So my question to you, have you been to the VA lately, or since they have declared it a presumption illness?
Well, I guess I would ask the reverse question. When did you come home from Vietnam?
Mr. Galen.
Came on 1970.
1970, okay. I came home in 68 or 9.
Okay.
Okay. So from 68, okay, to when I went to the VA the last time, which would be 2004. Okay. Now you do the math and tell me how many years they did nothing. They didn't even ignore. In fact, tell me, sir, what year did they declare Agent Orange acceptable as an injury?
I don't know the exact day they declared Agent Orange as a condition or presumptive illness.
Give me a tentative year.
I think it's
a tentative year.
What'd you say, Mr. Galen?
I think it's 1995.
95?
95, between 95 and 97.
So from 1968 through to 1995, it was ignored or denied. And then there was another thing I need for you.
It was denied.
Okay.
You got to get that real clear. It was denied. In other words, I don't care how much you dying, you ain't got it.
Okay.
Well, you got to remember that the United States government was paid by DuPont. If I'm not mistaken, the amount was 50 billion
with a B.
Billions dollars. How many? I bet you, in my opinion, we lucky if we got 1 billion. I'm serious. I think we only got. We'll never get it. We'll never get what. I look at it this way. All the problems I've had, if they give me, I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, if they give me what they should have gave me, I'd easily be a millionaire. But I ain't worried about no $1 million. I want my health. Even though I can't get it back after having 3 strokes, and
all this is a result of exposure to Agent Orange.
Agent Orange is one of the factors, yes, a major factor.
Okay, then tell us what the other factors are. Then I want Sister Phyllis to give
my opinion is, unlike, again, I want the sister to understand, I respect what you're saying, but I just want you to go back before you were there and understand this is a VA who didn't give a darn about any of its military personnel, black or white.
Right.
Okay? In many cases, to some degree, correct me if I'm wrong, but some degree, the United States still has not declared that we had military operations in Cambodia. I was there. I'm telling you we were there. And I'm telling you to say that we weren't, as I was told point blank when I got my record back that was totally blacked out, if we reward you for Agent Orange, the $1,000 that they were offering, if we reward you, that's the same as telling you. Now, if you go back to a movie called The Godfather, the first one, if you remember the scene where the girlfriend of Michael went to the attorney and said, here, take this letter. And he said to her, what? I can't take that letter, because if I take that letter, it could be later implied that I knew where Michael was, and I'm telling him, so I can't even accept your letter. And that's what the United States government does. It says we told the world we never were in Cambodia. I don't care how many people lost their lives in Cambodia. We weren't there. So since we told them we weren't there, we cannot acknowledge it. And to the greatest, to my memory, even to this day, we are not acknowledging that we were ever in Cambodia. Just like to this day, well, it is being accepted now, but many people say that there are still prisoners of war that exist in Vietnam, and I believe it.
Well, when I was over there, I even though I was in Chu Lai, I went out in the field. They put me in a helicopter, and we flew for I don't know how long. And I went out in the boonies. That's when I contacted this Agent Orange and got all this stuff on me. And I feel like there was something over there, and they knew that it was killing men. They knew before they even they had to know it, because it was killing everybody. And I mean, when I first just got into stuff, that's when I got boils from my up and down and up my crouch area, and they know that when I was out there in that field, I have to agree with you. we had to be in Cambodia because I mean we flew out there so long, and y'all go ahead. Go ahead, somebody take it.
It's all right. It's okay. So, Sister Phyllis, what are your insights now? What are you thinking? A world of difference.
It is a world of difference. Because I think the perception that the public seen how the Vietnam vets were treated.
Right.
So I'm thinking, and it has evolved where now the government has to take responsibility that Agent Orange
did exist.
It exists. And now they're treating the veterans, I mean, there's still problems, which, they're in the process of trying to fix. But they're not, veterans aren't treated like the way Viet. And I am so sorry. Because like I said, I grew up every night watching the news where in Vietnam, and people. I mean,
yes.
I was in school, and the guy lived across the street. He was drafted. He went over to Vietnam, and one day we seen the officer come into the house to notify the family that he was killed, and we found out. And that was just a constant thing every night you saw on TV. So when they came back, it was just horrible the way they were treated. I mean, they were spit upon, people.
I heard that more than once.
And but now that they recognize that Agent Orange is an illness, they are trying to help. That's why I was asking, when was the last time that you have been to the VA? You
talking to me? I can tell you right now. Last time I was at the VA was about last week. I used to go over there. I used to go down there about once every other week.
Okay.
I'm usually there, and I got so many problems that they know good well they should have got me straight, but they can't get me straight because I'm dying. I know I'm dying. I already know that. But my sisters and them, I had to applaud them because they don't want me to go. And I'm not going to go without a fight. And I look at it this way. Even though I feel like I said, let me clean something up with you, Bob. You were asking me how much the government gave me. I think it was about until... I think it was last month or the month before then. Now it's $400.
$400 what?
$400
a month?
A month, yeah.
To live on?
That's right. But before then it was only $2.
Okay. Take your glasses off.
There's, you
okay,
people act like you're surprised.
No, I'm not surprised.
This is normal.
This should not be normal.
No, it is normal.
We should not have homeless vets. We should not have vets on food stamps.
Go down on Parsons Avenue.
In Columbus, Ohio. We should not have vets wanting for anything. Where's the incentive to send our sons? Where's it? Some of them ain't going. Some of them are going to have accents from other countries because they're just, where's the incentive for this?
Well,
where's this American pride thing going on?
Some don't understand the benefit system. Some don't understand the healthcare system. So, like I mentioned in our last conversation the other week,
help me out.
For wartime veterans, there's a pension that can kind of change his standard of living. If he apply for it, he's granted that pension for
How
wartime
do we
veteran.
Do that, Anthony?
There's
Can
the
you
VBA.
Tell us?
You have the VBA right within the facility. You have you have the veteran organizations like DAV, American Legion, inside the facility, or you can go downtown to Franklin County Veteran Service Commission
and get in line.
Yeah, that's right. You'd be in line forever. But one thing,
You can spend the whole day at VA and never see nobody.
And another thing, if you're computer savvy, then you can go online to e-benefits and apply for these benefits, and you make sure you get an email showing where you did apply for these benefits.
And what's the key word? Computer savvy.
Yes.
And how many people 70 years old that are computer savvy?
Right. And that's the key. You don't have the help. Some of the veterans, up in age, some young don't.
If you're in Vietnam, how old are you?
Right. I'm 44.
No, not how old are you. If you were in Vietnam, how old would you be right now?
In your 60s, 70s.
Yeah, my 70s.
So, I mean, I'm not disrespecting what you're saying.
That lost in the cracks thing
you're giving me information that's irrelevant towards how I live. Now, I understand. I am blessed. I'm not suffering like he is.
Right.
So that's the question. How do we help him? Because I can take you on Parsons Avenue.
In Columbus,
and
Ohio.
In Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
And we can go down Parsons Avenue, and I can point out all the people I met just yesterday. Just yesterday.
Because they
are starving to death. They're no clothes. They came into this church that I was working in yesterday. Yeah. I mean, it is tragic.
Yeah, and there's what you have for the homeless. They have the homeless program. They're at the Columbus facility.
Have you been to that facility?
Okay, here's what I want to do right now. I need contact information from you, Anthony, and how the vets can get the help. Because I feel like that's where you are needed right now. Because the stories are horrible and the outcomes don't look very good. $400 a month, that's somebody's gas bill in a brick home. But see what I mean? So I'm going to need you to do that for me. Reverend Bob is passionate right now.
You got to understand something here. I've got to make this really clear.
Make it clear.
Not him, but people like him.
Right.
They don't know anything about go and get anything. They're not even mentally in the position to go and seek.
Well, somebody's got
to
start somewhere.
Don't have families.
You got to start somewhere.
I got that. But all this you're talking about offering is like he says, they're there, but they don't know. How do you get them who don't know to come and be service if they don't know?
Sister Phyllis, is there a way? Go ahead.
I would say it seems like some of it is that they are so bitter that they just have practically shut out the VA.
You've been 20 years, you've been told you ain't worth a dime.
Yeah, I can understand being bitter.
So,
but
why? No, I'm not talking about bitter. I'm talking about mentally disturbed.
Okay, mentally. Okay, if they
Go ahead.
mentally disturbed.
Yes.
If somebody, I don't know, maybe a outreach program, like you said.
Community resources.
Right.
We're out there in the community. DAV, we're out in the community.
What is DAV, please?
Disabled American Veterans.
Okay, so what we've been talking about are disabled American veterans.
Yeah.
Whether mentally, spiritually, physically, psychologically, financially, the whole Lee family. And you're saying that there are things that we can do.
There are organizations out there.
Talk to me about the DAV.
Like I say, we assist veterans in claims, connecting them with personnel for health care benefits, just compensation and pension, housing, transitioning.
Listen, Brother Anthony, everybody, thank you so much, because I gotta go. TalkTainmentRadio.com is the world's greatest radio. It's radio the way it should be heard.